The New Madrid fault line is one of the most important seismic zones in the United States, and it runs through parts of Missouri, including the southeastern region of the state. Although St. Louis is located more than 100 miles away from the fault line, it is still within the area that could experience significant damage if a major earthquake occurs. This is because earthquakes from the New Madrid fault line are capable of impacting large areas, even far beyond the fault's immediate vicinity. A fault line is a crack or fracture in the Earth's surface where two large sections of rock known as tectonic plates meet. The New Madrid fault line is part of a network of fault lines in the central United States. The Earth's tectonic plates are constantly moving, although they usually move very slowly, just a few inches each year. Sometimes these plates get stuck against each other, building up pressure. When this pressure is finally released, it causes an earthquake. The New Madrid fault line is unique because the area experiences infrequent but powerful earthquakes. The New Madrid seismic zone is named after New Madrid, Missouri, a small town that was near the center of one of the most famous earthquake events in American history. In 1811 and 1812, a series of powerful earthquakes hit this region. The quakes were so strong that they changed the course of rivers, including the Mississippi River, and caused the land to rise and fall, forming new lakes and swamps. The shaking was felt as far away as the East Coast, in cities like Washington, D.C. and Boston. Even though St. Louis is not directly on the New Madrid fault line, the city could experience severe damage if another large earthquake were to occur. The reason for this is that the Earth's crust in the central United States is different from other parts of the world like California, where earthquakes are common. In the central U.S., seismic waves travel farther and affect larger areas because the ground is more rigid. This means that cities like St. Louis, Memphis, and even Chicago could feel the effects of a major earthquake in the New Madrid fault zone. In the 1800s, St. Louis was a much smaller city, and buildings were made mostly of wood, which can handle shaking better than some modern materials. Today, St. Louis has large buildings, bridges, and highways that could be damaged by a strong earthquake. Skyscrapers, older structures, and critical infrastructure like water and gas lines could all be at risk. A major earthquake could also cause landslides along the bluffs near the Mississippi River, making the river difficult to navigate and disrupting shipping routes. Preparing for earthquakes. Because the New Madrid fault line poses a risk to the St. Louis area, scientists and engineers have taken steps to help the city prepare for possible earthquakes. Seismic activity is constantly monitored in the region. Scientists use seismographs, tools that measure vibrations in the earth, to detect even small tremors, which could be early signs of larger movements along the fault line. Although earthquakes cannot be predicted with certainty, this data helps emergency planners develop response plans for communities in the region. Buildings in St. Louis and other cities near the fault line are now constructed to better withstand earthquakes. Engineers design structures with flexibility, allowing them to sway during an earthquake rather than collapse. In some cases, older buildings have been retrofitted with new technology to make them safer in the event of a quake. Additionally, schools, businesses, and families are encouraged to have earthquake preparedness plans. This can include knowing where to take cover during an earthquake and having emergency supplies like food, water, and first aid kits on hand. Emergency drills such as the Great Shakeout help people practice what to do during an earthquake, which can save lives. The risk today. Although the 1811 to 1812 New Madrid earthquakes are famous, there have been many smaller earthquakes in the region since then. Most of these have been minor and not noticeable to people living in St. Louis or nearby cities. However, experts believe that there is a possibility of another major earthquake happening in the future. The United States Geological Survey, or USGS, estimates that there is a significant chance of a large earthquake in the New Madrid seismic zone within the next 50 years. The strength of an earthquake is measured by its magnitude. For example, the largest of the 1811 to 1812 earthquakes is estimated to have had a magnitude of around 7.5 to 8.0. An earthquake of this size today could cause serious damage, not just in Missouri, but across a much larger region. Aftershocks could also follow the main earthquake, causing additional damage as the ground continues to shake. Even though it's impossible to know exactly when an earthquake will occur, being aware of the risk and preparing for it can help minimize the damage. In St. Louis, understanding the geography of the New Madrid fault line is essential, as it affects not just the land but the people, buildings, and infrastructure that make up the city. Conclusion. The New Madrid fault line is a major geographical feature that has shaped the history of the Midwest, including Missouri and the St. Louis area. While it has been over 200 years since the last major earthquake in this region, the threat of future seismic activity remains. By studying the fault line and understanding the risks, scientists and engineers can help communities like St. Louis prepare for potential earthquakes and ensure that buildings, infrastructure, and people are safer in the event of another major quake.